Good evening, everyone. My name is Nevaeh, and for this badge sharing, I chose the coding badge, which is based off of the website Hour of Code. This website is very organized and very neat, and it has different categories on the game that you would like to make and play. So, in short, the whole purpose of this site is to create a game from scratch, given step in a tutorial, and you'll get to play it afterwards. So over here on the left side, it has different sections based on your preference, and they have a classroom technology section, and that will have selected games that are strictly for what you're looking for. So if it's only computer based, they will have games that are strictly for computers, same with Android and iPhone, or even if no internet. They also have it based on topics for topics of learning that you're teaching. So if you're teaching a math lesson, they have games strictly for math, social studies, language arts. And they also have this section down here, and that is the activity type you want, the length, the accessibility, and the language. And up here at the very top, that will be your main priority, is what grade level you want it to be. So since I'm sticking with grades 2 through 5, since that is what I'll be focusing on in my teaching career in the future, I picked through these, and I looked through all the games, but that is the one I solely picked just because that is what I intend to do in the future. But I went through and I picked ones that caught my eye, and the Joy of Bubble Popping was the main one because I love Inside Out. First movie is great, second movie just as well done. So that's the one I chose, and it will pop up a little screen like this, and it will give you just an idea of what it's going to show you, what it's looking for, and it gives you the student experience, which is beginner, so you're not expected to know how to code a game, so it's going to show you how. And it gives you the length, which is 1 hour, and the languages it will be using. Very straightforward. So you're going to click start. It's going to open a new page, and it'll take a second, and you're going to click OK, and it will load up this fun screen. So when you start, it's going to have on the left side all the steps, which is 16 in total, how to create your game. And your game is over here on the bottom right hand corner, and that's going to be your guide on if you're doing it correctly. Because if it doesn't, it won't work, and it'll be shadowed out as gray. So to start, we're going to open our bubble category into the toolbox, and we're going to find Create Board, and you're going to place it inside of On Start. Doing this, it'll have your game appear like it just turned on. And now we're on to the third step, which is looking to make sure you see your 2 rows of bubbles appearing on your game screen. So now step 4, we're going to open the bubble category again, look into the toolbox, and we're going to add Load New Bubble. You're going to stick that underneath the Create Board. And doing this, it will have a little tiny bubble in the middle bottom of your screen. And we're on to the next step, which is the sprites category. This is where you're going to pick your avatar that you're basing your game off of. And you're going to sit that underneath the Load New Bubble. This option is pretty neat because it allows some creativity. As you see, it shows it on the screen. But you can change your avatar. You can choose to have it based on what's in your gallery that they have offered for you. So you don't have to have that specific character. You can have the one that they offer, or you can just simply create your own. It's really up to you and how, if you're feeling creative when making your game. So now that you have that, you're going to click Next. And that is just to make sure that it's in the middle of your screen. So now we're going to move our sprite. I'm going to go back into the sprites category, and you're going to click the second one, which is set my sprite to 102. This is to simply make it to where your character is underneath the bubble, because if it's above the bubble, it's not going to make your bubble go where you need it to. And it also explains it right over here as well. So on to the next section is the controlling section. This is going to help you control where your bubble is aiming. So we'll go into the controller category, pick this from the toolbox. You can put it anywhere you like. So just anywhere onto the empty workspace area. And this is going to make it to where you can make your bubble go all the way to the right. As you see, it won't go to the left. And that's what we're going to do next. So we're going to go back into the controller category, grab another one of the same blocks, and we're going to change it to where it goes all the way to the left. So you'll click left, and then we're going to click left again, and give it a second, and you should be able to, make it go all the way to the left and all the way to the right. So now, the next step is being able to actually release your bubble. So into the category, I'm going to grab this, we'll stick it right here. And this is going to make it to where once you hit the A button on the actual game or on your keyboard, it should be able to toss your bubble. So we're going to make it to where the bubble is aimed at the green, if I can see that green. Okay, we're just going to hit A, and it's going to make your bubble roll because it's not sticking to anything. So that's what we're going to into the next step. So we'll go into scene, and we're going to pick the second one, which is going to make the bubble stick to the screen. So once you put that down, you hit next, and you should be able to try again, toss your bubble, and click A, and see it will stick to the other bubbles on your screen. So now, you're going to open your bubble category one more time, and this is going to make it to where you can have more bubbles pop up after you toss the other ones. So we're going to hit load new bubble. It's going to go underneath the blue box, and should be able to toss it, and now a new one appears. So now you can toss another one. And at the end, you can play your game, or you can add more. You can add music in the background color. If you win the game, you can show a score, or you can change your character with each new ball. There's a bunch of different options. So for the music, you can add that into the blue container, and you should be able to play a song with it. Or you can use the confetti effect, which I added in mine, so when you win, it should show confetti for when you complete the game. So just an example, this is what my game looks like. I changed the background to red just to make it more easy on the eyes, and you can see the bubbles clearly. But if we go into the coding, it looks very similar to the one that we just did. Yeah, you have it to where you can use confetti when you win, and I had it to where you can set the background color to that color. I tried to do the music. It was working, and then it wasn't working for me. I'm not musically talented, so I tried a couple times, and I just had to let it go because it was not working out. But you can basically make different music that you choose, and you can add it on there, and you can have it repeat every time you release a new bubble, or you can have it just on a simultaneous loop. My only issue with that was every time, because I like to play quickly with those kind of games, so once I release a bubble, I'm on to the next, and it would do the same time over and over, and sometimes it would overlap, and that was kind of frustrating for me as a player, and kind of took the joy away from the game, so I chose no music. But someone probably could do it better than I could adding music. But I think the site gives an interesting outlook on how games are created, and it gives the necessary steps on how to make them play and make them play properly. And I think this is a great way to introduce this way of gamification into a classroom because it teaches students how and why games are made specifically for educational purposes. And I also think it teaches patience. And it also allows creative freedom because, as you saw, you can add music, you can create your character, you can add confetti, you can change the background color to your favorite color as you please. And I think that's a great way for students to make it their own. And I definitely think this was a learning curve for me. As I said before, I've never coded a game, but it did offer step by step. And if you had any questions, it gave on this screen, it has a little light bulb of what you might need help with and what you might be looking for. So I definitely think that was a great option that they added there for people who have never done this before, especially for students too. And lastly, I definitely believe teachers should try out the game and making it first to see if it's something they think their students can do on their own, and to make sure it's obviously appropriate for what they're teaching. And a way they can use this in the classroom is a teacher practice making a game based on the subject they're learning. They make the game and they can make a video tutorial like this, or they can actively show how to make it in class. And once they finish their example, they will have the students each try to follow the same steps of the same game, step by step, following the video or the tutorial. And once they have that down, they can then choose their own game off the site within what they want to do, and they can make it their own game, and they can have others try out their games and basically make it from an individual activity to a group learning activity, and they can show and compare their games. And I think that is a great way to use this opportunity for coding a game, because as it does have fun in it, it does have a learning curve to it, and I definitely think it teaches students that there are steps you have to take before getting the reward. So I think that is a good lesson to teach. But overall, I definitely think this is a good and takeaway of how many steps it takes to make the game, and I definitely would teach it into a classroom, but with a tutorial, because it does take time and you can easily mess it up. But I definitely think patience is your biggest friend when creating these games. But I hope everyone has a good night, and thank you for watching my video.